All right, all right, all right. And good evening, good folks. Good evening, good folks. Good evening, good evening. Y'all know what to do. First thing first, let me know you can hear me. Yeah, let me know you can hear me. Got to excuse me, move stuff around. I just got shit everywhere up in this room. Every time I clean it up, I mess it right back up. So I guess that's a natural man thing. You know, we clean up something, we mess it right back up. So you hear me moving a lot of stuff around. So please forgive me. You're hearing all that noise. All right. Please forgive me. Okay. All right. Teddy said I'm good. All right, cool. Appreciate you. Well, you can hear me. Hopefully everybody else can hear me. Yeah, so you can hear me. Hopefully everybody else can hear me. Hopefully the video is not buffering, anything like that. Okay. Is the video good? Is it buffering, anything like that? And just make sure everything is good and clear before I start talking. So we got the sound correct. Now is it buffering? Do y'all see the video clear or anything? Okay, she said the video good so far. All right, cool. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all joining me. I'm trying to, ain't gonna be long. I'm trying to be quick with this. We're gonna do 2 stories. We got 2 stories. We got one I've been trying to get to for a while now, but of course y'all know how I be working. Work just been kicking my ass. So I'll try to get both of them done tonight. All right. And the first one I want to do is the young fella you see going across the bottom of the screen by the name of Amir Harden. Okay. We have another story here, ladies and gentlemen, that a young son tried to protect his mom during a DV situation, and he is no longer with us. And kind of find out the person who was involved in the DV situation was his own dad. Okay. Now, for what I got to understand from the story, the dad had a weapon and the little boy tried to wrestle his dad while he had the weapon in his hand. And dad claiming he accidentally shot him. Or whatever he did to him to kill him. He said it was an accident. Mom says in this story, from what I heard, she said she told Amir to leave. Get out of here. She was trying to get him out of here because I guess she didn't want him to get hurt. And she claimed that Amir said, I'm not going to leave you here by yourself. I don't know what to really think about that. You know, I mean, what can I say about that? I don't know. You know, 8-year-old, and I don't know. I guess my question is, you know, why these youngins getting involved in grown folk situations, or how they been put in grown folk situations, especially stuff like that, you know. But anyway, though, let me let y'all hear it, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this as you hear it, okay? I just don't, I don't know. I don't understand why young children put themselves in the middle of grown folks' issues, but, you know, let's do it.
A family is heartbroken after losing their 8-year-old boy. His mom says the bullet that hit him was meant for her. She says her little boy died trying to protect her. Our David Schumann shares their story from Burnsville.
I'm so mad about it.
I know.
The pain Cherish Edwards feels can't be put into words. Her son, Amir Harden, died this weekend after she says his father accidentally shot him. Cherish says Amir's father was trying to shoot her.
He wanted to protect his mommy. It's just unimaginable. An 8-year-old trying to wrestle a gun out of a grown man's head.
8-year-old trying to wrestle a gun out of a grown man's hand. Okay.
It's unbearable pain.
Cherish says she told Amir to run outside, but he wouldn't leave her. After the shooting, she says Amir's father turned the gun on himself, with her 4 other children watching. He's in the hospital in critical condition.
We're finally free of him, but my child paid the ultimate sacrifice. My children, all of them, I feel so bad for them because they are traumatized.
Burnsville police are investigating what happened, and a city spokesperson says if Amir's father lives, criminal charges will be considered.
It's a nightmare that you can't wake up from.
Cherish and her father are remembering Amir as a bright light, a goofball, and a gifted athlete.
Very happy little boy. He was courageous. He was a leader. He was my biggest cheerleader. Every day I go to work, say, "Have a good day, Mommy. I love you."
Cherish says Amir's father had a history of violence leading up to this, and she has a word of warning to other women in abusive relationships.
You just gotta leave. Next time that be your life or your child's life, I think a lot of women think it'll never be them.
Now, Cherish says she's just trying to do her best for her remaining living children. She has an online fundraiser for moving expenses and other bills. In Burnsville, David Schumann, WCCO News.
Okay, again, I have to say, when I did one of these last stories like this about a child, the 13-year-old, no, he was 11, I believe. The 11-year-old, he felt the need to protect his mom from the ex-boyfriend. He had just got out of jail. And I think this dude did too. He had just got out of jail, and the boyfriend came over to the mom, ex-boyfriend came to the mom's house and started to the food. And the 11-year-old, if anything, she would tell me to get out the house, or she would tell me to stay in my room because she had handled her own business. Oh, hell. It'll start buffering. Damn. I know they do that every time when I'm getting in, trying to get my synopsis of the situation. They start doing that, you know. Am I am I back now? Am I back now? All right. Let me repeat what I said. Okay, 11 years old, 8 years old, 2 youngins trying to protect their mom. I get it because we are programmed in a sense that mom is supposed to be the better parent. Okay? That's just how we're programmed. And we're programmed because mom gave us birth. That's the one who we're supposed to have more care for. Totally get it. But like I was saying before we started buffering, is my mother never, ever, once in my lifetime, whenever she got into it with any adult, she never tried to put me in the middle of it. She didn't tell me to go get no gun. She didn't tell me to go get no knife. She didn't tell me to do shit. If anything, she'd tell me to get out the house, or she'd tell me to stay in my room. Because her thing is, no matter what's going on, a child should not be in grown folk business, even if they are fighting. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that to jump to mom about this situation. I'm just saying how I grew up. You know, I knew not to get in the middle of grown folks' issues, especially when they are fighting. I knew not to get in the middle of it. Now, however, one thing I don't like when it comes to situations like this, and I'm not saying she did this, but have y'all ever been in a situation where the mom and the dad does get to fighting, and one tell you do one thing, but you try to go do what one thing told you to do, but the other one tell you better not go do it? Who do you listen to when you got 2 different people in your ear, one telling you to do something, one telling you better not do it? Anybody been in that situation before? I have plenty of times. My dad tell me to do something, try to go do it. Mom tell me don't do it. Mom tell me to do something, go do it. Dad get upset, say, you better not do it, and I'm going to do X, Y, Z to you. So you in a situation with a conflict like that, what do you do and who do you listen to? Because you don't want to piss off dad. You don't want to piss off mom because you don't know which one probably get upset and going to give you a whooping if you don't do what they told you to do. Okay? This is why I say now in this era with this arguing and bickering and mom talking shit about the dad talking shit about the mom. I'm sure y'all heard this plenty of times before. You're not hurting each other. You know who's getting hurt? The children. Story like these shows it. It shows it. They are the one who are suffering when these kind of situations erupt. All right? So you maybe think you're hurting it. You maybe think you're hurting the dad when you saying and doing certain stuff. And the dad maybe thinking he hurting the mom when he do stupid stuff or whatnot that's involving a child, which we call it nowadays is using a child as a weapon, using a child as a tool. And they got some saying now, y'all correct me how they say this, something about carrot on a stick or something like that. What's the saying going on about that? You know, carrot on a stick or some shit like that. You know, them kind of situations, and it always fall on the children because they the one taking the biggest hit in these situations. All right. And a lot of times when they grow up, it fucks their mind up because they just seen so much fuck shit between the two. When they grow up, that shit rubs off on them. And then when they get older, they start committing some of these hardcore ass crimes because how they grew up and the shit they was put in the middle of. All right? All right? And my boyfriend again. Am I boyfriend again? Something must be wrong because I don't know, 4 or 3 people watching. Damn. Am I boyfriend again? Something going on there. Only 3 people watching? Damn. Man. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, so, yeah, again, I hate that this happened to him, and I hate that he felt the need to protect his mom, and the mom tried to tell him to get out, but he chose not to get out. All this just, it's just crazy, and it's something that, had him want to stay there to protect his mom, man. And so, and then another thing that gets me is she said that he has a history, I guess, of abuse or whatnot. So, that plays a major role in this situation as well. Okay? All right? So, man, ladies and gentlemen, please, man, teach our children, man, when y'all are involved with other situations with adults, don't put them in the middle of it. Please don't. Please do not put them in the middle of it. Tell them to leave. If they don't leave, I guess force them to leave because you don't want them in the middle of this because shit can happen. And we did this about the second or third story I have presented to y'all that this has happened to a child being involved in a history between violence between the mom and the dad. Wow, it's crazy. The children think it's normal, so it's unfair. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, Deborah, I don't know what it is. 3 people watching. I don't know, man. This shit is crazy, man. Sometimes I just feel like giving this shit up, man. Because I'm like, what's the point? What's really the point? If I'm doing all the sharing and all this stuff, man, y'all can't get the notification, then hell, what's the point? But at the same time, I like what I do, so I try not to complain too much. But this shit getting frustrating, though. But, hey, I keep on pushing. All right? Let me do one more clip in this, then we're going to go over to the next story.
We have heartbreaking new details tonight about a little boy who died defending his mother.
Amir Harden's mom told us that his father shot and killed him in Burnsville last week, but she was the intended target. Now, WCCO's Alan Henry has learned that man had just gotten out of jail hours before the shooting.
We're finally free of him, but my child paid the ultimate.
And you know the crazy thing about that, the last story I did on a situation like this, that dude had just gotten out of jail.
Sacrifice.
Amir Harden's mother says the 8-year-old made that ultimate sacrifice trying to protect her.
He tried to kill me. He aimed for me, somehow missed, and my child got the bullet instead.
New court documents show Amir's father was booked on domestic assault charges, released from jail, and shot him all in less than 24 hours. And a new police report notes he, quote, has a permit to carry a firearm and almost always carries a firearm on his person. Also saying his, quote, arrest is necessary to prevent imminent harm.
Sometimes the person who is using harm feels like they're losing power and control over the victim survivor, so they might escalate that violence to kind of try to regain that control.
Minnesota has a new red flag law to allow the removal of guns in these type of circumstances, but it's unclear if it was considered in this case.
We really want to recommend that the legal system is really assessing these cases on an individual basis in terms of a potential threat to the victim's safety. So really just kind of questions about what kind of assessment was involved in that case.
We reached out to the city of Burnsville, but did not hear back. Edwards, however, did have this warning she wanted people to hear.
I do want to say that any woman that's in a domestic violence relationship, doesn't matter if he hit you 10 years ago, you just gotta leave. Next time, that'd be your life or your child's life.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
The suspect was released on bond for the domestic violence charge. He's not charged in this case because he is still in the hospital after turning the gun on himself. If you or someone you know needs help, please call the domestic violence hotline at 1-866-223-1111. Calls are free and confidential.
I got a question, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong for asking this question or am I being a dick. I got a question. Y'all heard the message that she said at the end. You know, I agree with her. Positive message, somewhat of a powerful message. But here was getting me. If this is what you was going through with this man, why you didn't follow your own advice? Why didn't you leave? You got children. I don't know if all of them by him, but you have children also. And you were dealing with this man going through this for what it sounds like, because the last article says he had a history. So we got a history, then y'all been going back and forth for the longest. Okay? So if this the message that you pushing, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, honey, why did you not follow your own advice and get the hell out of Dodge? And again, a lot of people keep saying, hey, Chris, it's not that easy to do, you know, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I never been in a situation like that. But she said, one of your kids, you can lose one of your kids. She did. So why can it not be easy, at least for you to get out that situation to protect your children, or at least put your children in a location where they don't have to be involved or they don't have to witness it, okay? All right, so am I wrong for asking that, or am I being a dick for saying that, you know, because I'm not trying to beat her up, you know, but I just don't understand, you know, staying in a situation like that, and you have children, knowing what this man is capable of, all right, because y'all said he got a history, knowing what he's capable of, but you stayed around, though. But again, I can say this is something you could be a witness to what's going on. But at the same time, though, why you didn't follow your own advice? But see, she ain't the only one. It's a lot of us that do that. We try to give people advice, but we don't follow our own shit, which is kind of crazy. But I guess it's just the way of the world. We try to give advice, but don't follow our own advice. But in a situation like that, though, you know, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should have been on the first thing smoking, getting out of Dodge, especially if he was in jail. That could have been your opportunity right there. All right. But I get it. I don't know the whole story. And maybe you didn't have anywhere to go. I don't know. Hopefully you will see this and you will holler at me and tell what's what. I don't know the whole story, and I don't go sit up here and say that I do know the whole story, but I love the message you said at the end, though. But why didn't you do it, though? All right. Right. She learned a lesson the hard way. And that's sad. You had to lose, this boy had to lose his life for you to understand the value not only of your life, but his life too. You know, and he tried to protect you and died doing it. And that's sad by the hand of his own dad. And it's sad the dad came out and said, hey, that bullet was meant for the mom. So if it got that bad that he trying to shoot you, I don't know. I don't know. It must be some personal feelings or something really going on with that he want to come back and shoot you. So, wow, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But rest in peace to the young fella. You know, and that's another thing too. I hate when I see these pictures that they was into sports, you know, because I preach about extracurricular activities, and then when I see them do that, you know, and see they going, you know, it just hurts me because, you know, you would never know what he could have become now that he's gone or she is gone. Well, now we want to see what it would have became. All right. So goddamn. So ladies and gentlemen, please, man, y'all in this situation, man, if you don't want to get out of the relationship, you know, man, do something at least to protect them. Send them somewhere else so they don't have to witness it and they don't have to put themselves in it. Just like that 10-year-old girl, you know, shot that woman in the head. Talk about, I told her, don't be fucking with my mama, whatever here. She did 10 years old, outside, had a gun in her bed and shot that woman in the head. They say she shot her twice and killed that woman, okay? But the mom claims she told her to go in the apartment. I don't know if she did or not. I just know when I showed y'all the video when the cops came after her, you know, we can see where the 10-year-old got the behavior from. All right? And that language that she got it from, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep kids out of grown folks' business. All right? Keep kids out of grown folks' business. They got no reason being in y'all business at all. No reason. All right? Man, so sad, so sad. All right, guys, so let's move on over to Cory Bigsby. Hey, this is a long time coming. Cory Bigsby has gotten 45 years in jail. 45 years in jail. Now, I'm kind of curious how they did that and they still ain't got this boy's body. I'm kind of curious, but hey, you know, I guess in this situation, you just have to take with what you get in this or whatnot, you know. Some people say this is a victory. Some people still probably feel some type of way about it because his body still has not been found. But Cory Bigsby, Father Cory Bigsby, has gotten 45 years in jail for the missing and the death of his son, Codi Bigsby. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to what they had to say about that.
All right. How's everyone doing? So you just heard the sentencing from the court in the Cory Bigsby case. He received 40 years, which is the maximum penalty for the second-degree murder, and he received 5 years for concealing and disposing of a dead body. And so now we are moving on to phase 2 of this case. As you remember, or you can recall, this case initially started with 7 counts of child neglect. And then when we got over to circuit court, we indicted 23 more charges of a combination of child neglect and child abuse. So we are going forth with that. For those who were in the courtroom, you heard me state we're ready to set those cases, and we are. And so the court is going to provide their dates, and then defense counsel and I are going to come up with an agreed date to try this matter with a jury, and we will go forth there. In those cases, he is facing, I think it was 156 years total. I can be off on the numbers because it's been a while since I've totaled the maximum penalties for those cases because I've been focusing on the murder. But nonetheless, is somewhere in that range of about, I think it's 156 years that he's facing. And yes, I will be asking for the maximum on that And I know for some of you, like, you are hardcore. Can I tell you why I'm hardcore? I'm hardcore because I want you to think back, particularly media. Think back, and can you remember a case that has literally erupted in our community in the 757 in such a manner as Codi? Where is Codi? People looking for Codi, people saying that they saw Codi even though it was not him, because people wanted to believe this 3-year-old was still alive. And that is the biggest trauma, I really believe, outside of to his immediate family, his mother, Dina Kareem. I think outside of that harm to their family, the harm to the community has been so exacerbated by the fact that we just don't know where he is. And there's only one individual who knows that. And so you may have seen some theatrics in the courtroom in which the defense attorney was trying to downplay the evidence and try to make it seem as if 10 years from now, Codi is going to be found. Codi is dead. That's just the reality of it. For those who have any questions whatsoever, Codi is dead. And we have to make sure the person who murdered him is held completely accountable for what he did. And so that is why we are going forth the way we are going forth. That is why we are not going to spare not 1 ounce of mercy for him. If you want to give mercy to someone, give mercy to the family. Give grace to the family. And I'm talking about his mother, his brothers, who every day got to live with the fact that they can't play, can't interact, can't love on their loved one. And one of the most heartbreaking things that was said, I think, by Mom when she testified is when she said the twins, who, if you recall, they were a year younger than Codi, they referred to him as baby Codi because they're now older. So he's going to forever be that 3-year-old, forever 3. So that is the next phase that we're going to go forth on, and hopefully we can get through that before the end of the year, but it's going to be based on the court's availability. So I'll open it up with questions.
Attorney Bell, you said in March that you were going to go for the max and there wasn't going to be any consideration, just like you're saying now, about the child abuse and neglect charges. Was there ever any doubt in your mind that Judge Hawks would pronounce the max?
No. I felt that he's a member of our 757 community, and I think he could also look at the factors that he clearly was able to articulate in this case. The fact that you're dealing with a parental figure, the fact that you're dealing with an adult and a 3-year-old, the fact it was so heinous, it was so gruesome, and that he died at the hands of this perpetrator, the fact that he concealed the body, disposed of the body. And here's the other piece that not many are saying, the fact that there's just simply no remorse. There's just simply how do you have no remorse for killing your own kid?
Right.
That's the sociopathic problem that I have with it. The element that, the elephant that's in the room. You have no remorse for killing your 3-year-old? None? An innocent baby? So I believe that he was going to max him out. That was my hope, my request, and I'm glad that he felt the same way as the Commonwealth did. Yes.
You stood 10 toes down, thou should not kill. Why was that important for you to address to the court?
Because at one point they try to portray him as, I guess, this Christian upbringing, church boy. He's this good guy. He wouldn't hurt a fly. He's just so mild-mannered and so forth. But I'm like, well, if you're this Christian good boy.
Remember how his sister was?
Army vet.
Remember how his sister was with him? I mean, she clowned about this man. What up, Judge A? See you, brother. Appreciate you. She clowned over this man. She swear up and down he didn't do this. She swear up and down that this man loved his son and this, that, and the third. That woman act a damn fool about Cory. All right? And in which, again, that's family. People gonna feel how they want to feel about family because they don't want their family to look bad in the light. But as I always tell y'all, if it walks like a duck and talk like if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it is a duck. No ifs and buts about it. It's a duck. That man know what that boy is. That man know what he did to that boy. All right? Because again, when it comes to these stories, I want y'all always keep in mind, why is it that one child is missing, but everybody else is still alive? How is that one particular child get picked out, but everybody else alive? One child stuck out the door. Nobody else did. You see everybody together the night before, but early in the morning, that one child just leave. The story doesn't make sense, and especially if he never done it before. If he or she never done it before or wandered off before, the story is bullshit. All right? So me, DJ Just J, or whoever, when y'all hear these stories, when it start off that, hey, I seen them last night, we woke up, the door was open, they was gone, automatic bullshit. It is. It's automatic bullshit. So, but I know a lot of y'all be want to see the better in people and try to be like, hey, we ain't got the whole story, so don't say this, don't say that. And I get it. But come on now. If you got to say when you hear them first words, they was there last night but got up and left the next morning, come on now. What kind of sense that makes? And they never did it. Now I can understand that they autistic or something and they got a history of elopement. Yeah, I can understand that. But if there's no history or they got autism and elopement, the story is bullshit, however you want to look at it. And that sister went nuts over that man as if she was in love with her own brother and that she was fucking her own brother. She was in love. I mean, she went crazy for that man. And that dude who's supposed to be in Black Lives Matter, he was going nuts too. But y'all fail to realize that man was the last ones to see him. So, when does the common sense kick in? When does the common sense kick in? But y'all don't listen to me. Y'all don't listen to me, though. Y'all don't. Let's go.
And so forth, then I'm sure they taught you also in the church, thou shalt not kill. And so absolutely, that was my theme. And they gave it to me because I wanted them to understand if he's that guy that you're saying that he is, then he should have known that you shouldn't kill, especially your kid.
Facts.
No. I don't think he has any sense of remorse. Even if you notice, when they did their argument for the court, they really basically try to make it seem as if he still is innocent and that 2 years from now, the court or the community is going to hear the real truth and we're all somehow, poof, he's going to appear. Not happening.
What was your reaction when you saw Bigsby's jailhouse interview with the news stations on the day of his conviction?
You really want to know? How can I say this? Yeah, narcissistic, but that's not the word that came to my mind. Truthfully, fool.
You turned to the community when you were saying, hey, the community needs this sentence. What were you trying to say, or what were you saying?
Just that. I wanted it to be clear. It's not about me. It's not about Bigsby. It's about the community. That's why the style of the case is the Commonwealth of Virginia versus Cory Bigsby. The Commonwealth is the victim. Along with Dina Kareem, the Commonwealth is the victim. And if many of you news media outlets, I'm certain you have heard from different members in the community who have either approached you or you've heard conversations where they were impacted negatively, some to tears. I can't tell you the number of people who have approached me since this verdict and has come up to me and just thanked me just out the blue Thank you. Thank you. People watching in North Carolina and Surrey, all over this region, outside the state, they were watching and following this case because it impacted them so much because people wanted Codi to be alive. That's just the bottom line. You want that baby to be alive. We still want that baby to be alive. But just the reality is he's not. And so for them, it was traumatic every time somebody came forth and said, I think I saw Codi, only to find out, no, it wasn't him. And so for them, it was huge for them to get closure, for them to get accountability, for them to get some sense of justice.
Mr. Brown made a statement. He said he beat you in a case they had 3 life sentence. And he said he think you took it personal, and that's why you were so aggressive with this case. How would you like to respond to that?
I would say that Mr. Brown has shown his lack of professionalism throughout this case. And if he thinks it's personal, so be it. If he can't see that killing a 3-year-old, a person should be aggressive concerning that, then I think it is time for him to retire. Thank God for that.
How disappointed would you have been if you were not able to give the closing? It sounded like you were not going to be able to give the closing statement to the judge as to what sentence you wanted.
So, at the end of the day, I think the evidence spoke for itself. I think for me personally, being able to give a voice to the summary of all that has occurred was important. But at the end of the day, based upon what the judge had articulated and clearly had already written down, I think his decision had already been made, but he wanted to hear what it is that the people wanted to say. Because at the end of the day, I represented the citizens. And so I'm glad that I was able to get that opportunity. But even with that, you saw an attorney trying to expedite a matter, show professional courtesy, and again, when you're dealing with a lack of professionalism on the other side, that's what happens.
You were able to get this conviction and the max sentence off circumstantial evidence. Looking ahead to the second trial, are you going to have physical evidence, and are you going to have to put a child on the stand again?
I won't speak to that, Dan, because that case is pending, and so I won't be able to talk about pretrial evidence or the same. The code or the ethical codes does not give me the right to really talk too much about cases that have not already been adjudicated. The only reason I'm even here to address you guys today, because this case is over with. He's already had an adjudication of guilt, and now he's had a sentence. So I could talk about the facts of this particular charge, but I can't talk about the specifics of what's going to happen with the next set of charges.
Do you believe Cory Bigsby would ever tell us what baby Codi is?
No.
Nope. I don't think he is either.
Attorney Bell, you had mentioned that the community is a victim as well as the family, the siblings, and Codi's mother. And you said the whole 757 community. You're a member of that community. Today, when you were arguing just the physical logistics of the way it played out, Mr. Brown was behind the podium, you took a few steps toward Judge Hawks. You were passionate in your argument. How personally were you affected by this case?
So, as I'm a career prosecutor, I've been doing this off and on since 1996. I have seen the worst of our society. I prosecuted the first triple homicide in Hampton along with someone who's now a circuit court judge. I have prosecuted probably one of the worst sexual abuse cases involving children that you can imagine, involving everything, including prostitution, bestiality, and child porn. I have just seen the worst of the worst. So when you unfortunately take that in, there has to be an outlet somewhere. So for me, my outlet is being able to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. So do I take on that mantle, or do I take on that righteous indignation for the people? Absolutely, I take it on. But just as quickly as I take it on, I take it off. Because if you don't, it can create burnout. So, yes, I was passionate.
Yeah, I heard that too. I couldn't even say
I'm pretty
nothing.
much
I heard
passionate
that
about
too.
anything I do. That's just the type of person I am. I feel like if you're going to do it right. Do it with excellence. And also make sure when you do it, you represent your community, you represent your peers, you represent your family with excellence. And so, yes, it's personal in that regards. However, it's not personal in the sense of I have a vendetta to play out, or I'm trying to get some type of my own dig into someone. No, I want you to be held accountable for what you did. Once you're held accountable, I'm moving on to the next case.
Can you speak to the survivors in this case, specifically Ms. Kareem? I know she mentioned she's a survivor of domestic violence at the hands of your police, and now this situation. How are you supporting the family after this?
So, Miss Kareem and her 3 boys, we have been able to bond with this entire office. Where is Miss Crump? Oh, there she is. I'm sorry. So Miss Crump is the director of Victim Service Unit, along with her staff. Different ones are in here. And we have been working intimately with her, trying to help her to get on the road to healing. Again, you can't completely get closure because there's not like there's a tombstone you can go to and be able to just bond and grieve and so forth. So as she stated, it's a nightmare every day. It's a nightmare. Her kids talk about him every day. So one of the things, we met yesterday, and I told her, I said, I put everybody in counseling. I'm a big fan of therapy to help you talk out where you are, to help you to navigate your emotional health. Because if she's not healthy, they can't be healthy. And so I put everybody in counseling. I'll put a dog in counseling if I had to. That's just me. But also being able to help them to navigate whatever other obstacles that may be present and whatever hardships they may be facing. There's resources for everything. So sometimes I look at our office, and not just in her case, but in just pretty much any case, I look at our office as almost like a hub. And although we may not necessarily be able to do this or that, we can point you in the right directions. We can pick up the phone and say, hey, I have this family that's dealing with this. I have this victim that's dealing with this. I have this sibling that's dealing with this. And point them in the right direction and make sure the connection is there and that they're getting the services that they need. So I think we've acted as a hub to a great deal, but I also believe that we've just been a support system. Her staff, they're amazing. Ms. Crump's staff is amazing. She's been doing this for over 30-some years, and I'm just so blessed to have her as a part of our staff. My staff is amazing. My attorneys, my investigators, my support staff, all of them. They're just amazing people. I love my job. I love working with them. So whatever we can do to help a person navigate the court system and come back out of on the other end in a better place, that's what we do.
Speaking of, you mentioned hardships, obviously, for Ms. Kareem. Last press conference after the trial, you had said to the media that she was going through things that you could not tell us at that time.
You heard it today.
You were talking about her friend and the unfortunate timing and the heart attack. That was just very emotional, and I assume that's what you were talking about.
Absolutely. So her friend, one of her best friends, literally had a heart attack the morning, early morning, that she was supposed to testify. So think about this. I want y'all to think about this. You go to court or you come to a city to be with a friend of yours, a loved one, because they're about to go through one of the most traumatic situations ever, which is they are there to testify about their child being murdered. And you're there. Clearly there's anxiety everywhere. Clearly there's stress everywhere. We can't say for certain what caused the heart attack, but this young lady, same age, had a massive heart attack the morning she was supposed to testify in front of her kids, in front of DJ. The little boy that testified, he saw her have that heart attack, and she died. These are the things that we can always say, but that's the negative impact that people go through that the public have no clue that they experience. And so she had a heart attack and she died. And those boys saw it, and unfortunately she saw it. And yet, she still got up on that stand and testified like a trooper and went through the abuse. You saw it even today. I didn't even question the auntie of the defendant, just out of respect. Did I believe the stuff that she was saying? No. But just out of respect, I didn't. But you saw what he did to her, the mom. You know, just, I'm glad he's retired. Yes.
As the face of the Commonwealth Prosecutor Office here in Hampton, Virginia, what message would you like to set out, or have you set out to anybody who feel as though they're going to abuse our children or murder them in Hampton, Virginia?
Not in Hampton. You come up in Hampton, you got a problem. You come up in Hampton, you got a situation on your hand. I'm telling you, not in Hampton. Go somewhere else. I don't care where you go, but don't do it here. Because you come up in Hampton, I'm locking you up.
She can't get no clearer than that.
Absolutely. Come on.
To me, this sentence means that he's finally being held accountable for his actions, for anything he's ever done to me, my children, or for anybody else. Justice has been served for Codi. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Well, thank you. And we will be hearing, I guess, about the next set of court dates for phase 2. All right. Thank you.
Wow. Touching. Very, very touching. Very touching. I want to say this right here. And if y'all have been following this story closely like I have, maybe some things I missed, but if you've been following it closely, y'all remember they said the boys came out and gave their testimony and said one boy was trying to wake up Codi and went downstairs and told Cory that Codi would not wake up. And what Cory told him, he all right, ain't nothing wrong with him, leave him alone. One of the boys said they went back upstairs again, trying to get Codi up, but Codi would never wake up. Okay? You got your kids saying that this is what you did. And you, your sister, and whoever else, the auntie or whoever else, tried to say different, that that's not what happened. This is why I say y'all need to start listening to children. Children are not dumb. They not dumb. All right, do children lie? Of course. But some things a child can be too detailed about for you at least ignore it and not go and investigate it. If they are giving you details of what happened, for your own sanity or safety or whatever you want to call it, investigate it. That's it. Investigate it. You can't look at a situation in this era and say, nah, that didn't happen. You listen to a kid? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Especially the details that they gave. They're just like a lot of people who are kids that's been raped. A child come and tell you exactly when, where, what time, and how it was done. Why would you brush that off and say, they don't know what they're talking about? Yes, they do. If they can give you the details, even down to the time did it happen? You mean to tell me you ain't gonna at least go investigate what happened? And then when you don't investigate, look what ends up happening. They end up gone because you did not want to do your due diligence and at least go to investigate the situation that was being told to you when the child could have been saved, but you chose not to save them. And we have heard stories that these people, men or women, will put the woman or the man before the children and say, fuck the children. They would literally put these folks before their children. And someone will kill them just to keep the man or the woman around. And I think this shit right there is psychotic. That's why now a lot of people need to have mental evaluations before procreating. If you ain't stable enough in your mindset, there's no need for you sitting around having a child. Because the child is already doomed from the time they was born. The child is already doomed by the time they are born. Because he or she is already not stable. At all. At all. And to show you what I'm talking about, I just want to play a few minutes of this if y'all remember this. Y'all remember this fool here? Y'all remember this right here?
Mr. Bigsby, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Do you feel you had a fair trial?
No, I really don't.
And why?
Listen to this fool.
It's a number of different things. For one, I don't feel like my attorneys were provided the proper information. Me and my attorneys never went over anything before we went to trial. Sat down and talked about anything. I never seen none of the stuff that they presented in court. There was no videos given to us that we asked for to prove any of the information that they was given, which was lies. It was all lies about dates when I went to suicide watch and all kinds of things. My son said something totally different in the first two interviews that he was given in the beginning, which was 2 years ago. Then all of a sudden my son come and say some stuff that was coerced, knowing my son never seen his brother land anywhere, lifeless, none of that.
So you're saying you never got a chance to view the Commonwealth's evidence?
I never got a chance to view any of that.
Is it because your attorneys didn't show you or that your attorneys never got it?
Either my attorneys didn't get it, because I know they asked for it in preliminaries, they didn't get it, or they didn't show it to me. And then another thing was, for one, I was ambushed because my attorneys never got to interview my son about anything before trial. We didn't even know who was going to be up there. I didn't know who was going to be up there.
Okay.
Then all of these videos that they were showing was trash videos. For one, you're talking to me through the intercom, right? I'm telling you, for one, I'm being mistreated. I'm not getting proper showers. My family was being sent information through the tablets that you use over at the jail. I was sending them up-to-date text information on the things that they were doing as far as torturing me. As far as me not getting showers, not giving me my proper medications and all that kind of stuff, which was supposed to have been on video.
At Hampton Roads Regional Jail.
Yes.
I remember this interview. It's everybody else's fault except for his. It was everybody else's fault except for his. He did nothing wrong. Everybody keep doing something to him. The children lying. The children lying about what they saw, even though the children was there. But hey, the children lying about what they saw. He claiming he had to talk to an intercom, which I don't know what they got to do with anything. Hey, he said something about video was crappy. Then he said something later about some kind of notebook and all type of shit. If you saw this interview, you just looked at this man and just be like, are you fucking serious, dude? Are you really serious? And it was all about him. It was never about Codi. It was all about him. If you heard this interview, it was all about him. That man didn't care about that boy. He really didn't. So, wow. That's crazy right there. But anyway, guys, hey, what can I say? It's only going to get worse before it get better. All right? With that being said, thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for listening. And hey, I'll see y'all next time. Appreciate you.